Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you my March wrap-up. Much like last month, I'm filming this 2 days prior to the end of March, so things could change. I don't think anything's going to be added to this, but I was wrong last month, which leads me to the first book I have to talk about, which is Trick Mirror. I read this in February, but when I filmed my February wrap-up, which I'll link somewhere, I hadn't finished it, and then I finished it like with 4 hours to spare on the last day of February. So yes, Trick Mirror, I've talked about this so many times on this channel, I'm sick of saying the name, is by Gia Tolentino, and it's a reflections on self-delusions. There's like 9 essays, and she talks about everything, including like sexism, feminism, social media, politics, just a wide range of things that she has learned and noted, and I used a lot of freaking tabs. So, and I read this for the like social book club at my school, at my university, so yeah. I don't know what to rate this because it's not like about one topic, and it's like, I don't know. So I just didn't give it a rating. And I can't really tell you to go read it because it's not about a specific topic. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you want to read something nonfiction that's fairly short, it's out there. The next book that I finished in March was A Heart So Fierce and Broken. I was reading this at the end of February, so here it is. This is the sequel to the, to A Curse So Dark and Lonely. This is a trilogy that started off with the first book being a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and the main character Harper, who's from Washington, D.C., gets dragged into this alternate dimension world thing. Don't really know how that works. And she is there, and she meets two men who are under a curse from a evil sorceress, and things ensue. So A Heart So Fierce and Broken follows one of our characters from A Curse So Dark and Lonely as they go off on their own and meet some new people. We get a lot of new characters, we get a lot of new backgrounds and relationships, and although this book took me like 3 freaking weeks to finish, it got to the point where my library, I had already renewed the loan once and it would not let me do it again. And I was like, they're going to pry this thing out of my cold dead hands, I swear. So I like stayed up one night and just read like the last 150 pages because I had to finish it before the next day they took it back from me. So that's what I did, and I have to say the last like 40% of this book really picked up. The first 30 took me forever, and then like the middle was okay, it was better, and then like the last 40% was just awesome. I really enjoyed it. Once we got to know our new characters and got into the grooves of their minds and kind of forgot about the other 2 characters from the first book, I really got into the groove of it. I loved the relationship that blossoms between, I'm trying not to like give spoilers away, between some people, and just all the interesting politics and dynamics that we're introduced to. And so I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I was really going back and forth between a 3.5 and a 4, and I settled on a 4 because like the last half was really good. I still wish this was told from 3rd person point of view, especially now reading the last book in this trilogy when there's like 4 main characters and we're switching. But you know, it's okay. It was okay. And I really don't know why it took me so long to get through this book. It must have just been a ginormous reading slump. That was quickly resolved because I've read like 16 books this month. And I have a lot to talk about, so I'm going to be Speedy Gonzalez through all of this. So yeah, that's that. Let's move on. The next book I read was a reread, and it was The Song of Achilles. I mentioned this in my, I don't even know what it was, February wrap-up, February TBR, I'm not sure. Me and my friends are doing kind of like a buddy read type thing, and I recommended we read this because I had already read it and I wanted to reread it. And as we can see, I had a lot of thoughts. I had a great time rereading this. This is easily one of my favorite books of all time. It is a Song of Achilles. What? It follows Achilles, you know, like Achilles' heel, and Patroclus, and their lives and them, and you know, it ends with like the famous Trojan-Spartan War, and it's just beautiful. Like, I cannot describe to you my love for this book. It's gorgeous. The writing is some of the best writing I've ever read, literally. I will read anything Miss Madeline Miller puts out. I just love this book and everything she does, the characterization, the storytelling, the writing, the just world building. I felt like I was in ancient Greece, ancient Rome. It was Greece. It was Greece, right? Now I feel dumb. It was Greece. It was totally Greece. Anywho, and I was like alongside them as they grew up and their lives together, and rereading it, I thought going into it that I wouldn't cry as much, but I cried even more because all of the foreshadowing that you don't realize is foreshadowing, but I realized it because I was rereading it. I cried a whole bunch, and the end just made me sob. But I tabbed it up, I highlighted things, I played in the margins because I know I'm gonna keep this for the rest of my life. Bury me, put this thing in my coffin, like my coffin, my casket. What's the difference? What is the difference? Anyway, bury me with this book. I just love it so much, and I think every single person watching this video should watch it. I'm being dead serious. It's amazing. It's amazing. Read it. Read it and cry like the rest of us. So that is to say, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, the next book I read in March was Chain of Gold. This beautiful boy. I did it. I finally read it. Thank you all for your concern. I read it. I read it really fast, and it was really freaking good. And I'm not going to say much about it because I have a whole like long ass video that is both spoiler free and spoiler filled for you to go watch if you want it. Someone's texting me. I just got the ding. If you want to know my thoughts, go watch the video. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was great. I loved it. Beautiful, amazing, awesome, great. Let me tell you what it's about. It's the however manyth book in the Shadowhunters world by Cassandra Clare, and it follows the children of the main characters in the Infernal Devices trilogy, and it's in Edwardian London, and it follows this huge, amazing, awesome, lovely group of teenagers and adults, young adults, as they, you know, kill demons, fall in love, do things they shouldn't do. Yes, I love this book. It was great. Go watch my video. It'll be in the cards and it'll be in the description, so kisses. I know there's a big hole behind me, but bear with me for a second. The next book I read was Chain of Iron, which is the second book in the Last Hours trilogy. This beautiful baby came out March 3rd, 2nd. And I got her that Friday, and let me just tell you, she's beautiful. Again, not a whole lot I have to say because I have an even longer video that is spoiler filled about this book, which I will leave in the cards and in the description. Go watch it. It's really long. Again, gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I actually, spoiler alert, liked this book more than Chain of Gold, which I wasn't expecting. I had a lot of emotions and thoughts and feelings about it. Primarily, all of them were good. And I loved it a lot. She gets me with these. She really does. That's all I really have to say. I mean, like, again, if you're watching this and you haven't seen my review, what are these? Can you tell me? Are they bees? If you've read this book, what do they mean? Did I miss something? Okay. The next book I have to talk about is an ebook, and it's gonna go right here. I read it because I wanted like a quick little romance type of get up, and it did the trick, I guess. And it is The Gentleman and the Thief. All you need to know about it is in the title. It's like, I think it's Edwardian London, Victorian Edwardian. And it follows two people who are like on the cusp of high society, and there's like a string of criminal activity happening, and one main character is a thief, one is a gentleman or like an ex-gentleman, and the love ensues and things go down. I don't really remember too much about this book because it was just a brief, flitty romance. Gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. You know, it was okay. It wasn't anything special. If you're looking for something like I just described, I guess it would do the job. I wasn't very emotionally invested in any of the characters. Maybe I should give it a 3. Or like the story, but it held my interest and I read it. So, you know, what else is there to say? I'm kind of going out of order here. The next book I have to talk about is another ebook. Wow, surprise. That is Blood Heir. This apparently, I did not know this going in, so I'm just gonna warn you, is like a spin-off series from a really long and really loved series. I don't even know what it's called. Kate's in the title. What's her last name? Kate Andrews? I don't know. It's set in like an apocalyptic, there we go, Atlanta. The Walking Dead vibes were there. And it's like, but it's like a magic apocalypse. It's not like a zombie apocalypse. And so there's that aspect. It's very sci-fi, fantasy feeling. Yeah, and it follows a character from what I gather was that series. What can I say about this? I really don't know what happened in it. The world building confused the crap out of me. All the like Atlanta, I live in South Carolina. I've never been to Atlanta, surprisingly. But I feel like even if you lived there your whole life, it would have confused you. Maybe you would have gotten it. I, for one, was confused. I was like, what road is she talking? Is it supposed to mean something? I needed a map. I was really tempted to like go on Google Maps and be like, what the crap is she talking about? But I didn't, because I didn't care that much. It was compelling. I read it pretty fast. Our main character is likable. She's funny. Made me laugh out loud quite a few times. There wasn't really any romance, which I thought there was, because someone was like, ooh, enemies to lovers, and I was like, where? Literally where? I don't think she kisses one person. Like, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what to say. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars again. It was interesting. It was entertaining. A little confusing. Um, I don't know what to tell you. Definitely, if I had read the other previous series, I think I would have loved it. Everyone on Goodreads did. I did not know that that series existed until like 25% in, and I was like, who are these people we're discussing? So, yeah, let's move on. Okay, next book, let's take an ebook break that I briefly read like in like 2 days, was Coraline. This was like a little break in the repertoire. I don't know. Yes, I got this book for my birthday. Coraline is my favorite movie of all time. So I was like, let's read the book. And it was literally like reading a screenplay. Like, it was exactly like the movie. There were a few missing pieces and some differences, but like really the conversations, everything pretty much that happens is exactly like the movie. So I don't really know what to tell you. If you've never seen the movie, read this, then watch it. If you have seen the movie, you can read this. It's not necessary. Yeah. I read Coraline. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars because I didn't really know what to rate it. I mean, I knew everything that happened, word for word. Nothing surprised me. But like, I still love the movie, so part of me loves this book because the movie came from the book. So let's move on. Next book I'm gonna talk about is another ebook. Wow, I know. I read like so many ebooks this month. 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 or 5. That's a lot of ebooks for me. But I love this next one, and it is The Bridge Kingdom. Don't know the author's name. I picked this up because I was doing some sampling of some books, and I noticed on the Apple bookstore that it was on sale for like $3. And I was like, that sounds awesome. So I bought it, and I read it in like 4 days. It was really freaking good, guys. It's got some fantasy elements going on, except there's not like a whole lot of magic. It's more like it's set in this fantasy world, but it's more politics and love story instead of magic. If you catch my drift, it was still really great. The descriptions of the bridge itself confused the heck out of me. I need someone to draw it. I need like an engineer to explain it to me because I genuinely don't understand any of it. But like, our main character was lovable. She was easy to read. Both of our main characters, I shipped them really hard together. I love them. The writing was really good. Like, for just some random ebook I happened to pick up, it was really, really good. I vibed with it. Yeah, really the only reason why I didn't give this a 5 out of 5 stars is because it wasn't like, didn't have like a huge impact on me. Like, thinking about it right now, I'm like, I read it and I really liked it, but what do I remember from it? I remember quite a few things, but like, it didn't have like an impact on my life. I didn't like, I'm not like willing to die over it. And the descriptions of the bridge really, really did confuse the heck out of me. Like, really confused me. But the love story was great. It was really a romance more than anything. Enemies to lovers, arranged marriage, all the tropes. There was a nightmare trope in there. I was like, I'm here for it. So I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was really good. I'm excited to read the next one next month. Okay, I said this in my March TBR. Before the Shadow and Bone Netflix TV show comes out, I wanted to reread it. And I did. I got through 2 out of 3 of the Shadow and Bone trilogy, Grishaverse. I don't know what the series is called. So I read Shadow and Bone and Siege and Storm. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish Ruin and Rising in 2 days, so that's why it's not on this list. But, yeah, I mean, I've read these, like, at least 4 or 5 times now, so I don't really know what to say about them. A brief description would be, it's set in this Russian Empire-esque inspired world, and there's a lot of magic. There's a really complex magic system, but to break it down, there are Grisha, who are either like, they control the human body and bodies. Does it control animals too? That's a question that I don't know the answer to. Then there are like the people who control the elements. Then there are the people who control like chemicals and metals and materials. And there's a really, really complex like class hierarchy type of thing going on. And our main character is swooped up. She's like just an average girl. It's pretty cliche, like just an average girl. And then she discovers she has this really rare, much sought after ability that can save the world. So, yes, that's it in a nutshell. I gave both of these 4s. When I first read them, I gave them 5s, but just knowing, like, having read some of Leigh Bardugo, is it Leigh or Leigh? Leigh Bardugo's other books, and knowing like how much her writing has developed and grown since this first debut. This was her debut, wasn't it? So like the writing isn't up to par with some of her other work, so I give it a 4. And I really wish it was told in 3rd person. I always say that no matter what book it is. Yeah, I think I like Siege and Storm better than Shadow and Bone. I finished this yesterday. So, look forward to Ruin and Rising on my April wrap-up. The last, let me count, like 6 or so books I have to talk about. There's a backstory. So, and probably a lot of you don't even care, but I'm just gonna explain it because I feel like I owe it to myself. Over the past year, I've gotten really into anime. If you don't know what anime is, I don't know what to tell you. Japanese cartoons. I hate saying that, like that's degrading it so much. But essentially, you know, animations. Yes. And most, if not all, animes are adapted from manga, which are Japanese, what are they called? Comic books, pretty much. But like, wipe the stereotype of Marvel and DC comics out of your head, because that's not what they are. Anywho, I've gotten really into watching anime, and one of the anime I've watched and binged and really enjoyed recently was Attack on Titan. It's like one of the biggest shows in the world right now, so, you know, do with that what you will. Anywho, so I caught up with where the anime was, and I was waiting each week for a new episode, right, to drop on Hulu. And essentially, what happened was, as I watched this anime, TikTok spoiled pretty much everything for me. And I did not go hunting down for the answers. I did not go seeking problems, okay? They came to me. I was not at fault, okay? And there's a part of TikTok where like the manga, okay, let me backtrack. The manga has not been finished. yet, right? So the series isn't complete. The last chapter comes out April 9th. So it's been releasing every, like, the beginning of every month. And the show's like at least 20 chapters, 15 chapters behind. So not only was I getting spoiled for the show, I was getting spoiled for the books. Okay. And so I've caught all up. I've been spoiled for the manga. And it really made me mad last month when the second to last chapter came out and like a bunch of stuff happened and I was like immediately spoiled for it. It really upset me. And it's like important things, like things that are upsetting. And so I saw this girl who was like, listen guys, okay, not me like having to keep going back and explaining more things. The show is split into 2 parts, this season is. So season 1 just ended yesterday. Season 1, part 1 just ended yesterday. So we're gonna have to wait like a good amount of time for the next final part of this anime to come out, okay? So between the end of the books, the final end of the books, and the last remaining part of the anime, there's gonna be a big gap. So someone was like, listen guys, if you don't want to be spoiled in like the year and a half, 2 years it's gonna take for the final part of this anime to come out, you need to read the books. And I was like, you have a good point. And she was like, here's where you can read them. Here's the chapter we stopped on. You don't even have to go back and reread the whole thing. Catch up, read the finale, the final chapter, and you won't be spoiled. You'll know what happens. And so that's what I did. I read 1, 2, I'll put them all up on the screen, 5 complete volumes, and like, I read like 3 or 4 in a day. Maybe actually all of them in a day. Yes. I found them online and I read them. I did not read the whole thing. I actually tried. I had thought I would start with the first book, and I was reading it and I was like, this is scene by scene exactly what happened in the show I just watched. So why would I waste time? So yeah, I read volume 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33 of Attack on Titan. And at first I was like, this feels like cheating, but Goodreads had it on there and it's been added to my yearly reading goal. So I'm including it. And I mean, it's reading. So yeah. And I'm currently like 75% through volume 34. And I will finish it April 9th when the last chapter comes out. I think I've been talking long enough. All I'm going to say is I'm currently reading Ruin and Rising and A Vow So Bold and Deadly. Here's Ruin and Rising. Here's A Vow So Bold and Deadly. You'll see them in my April wrap-up. I'm just going to leave that down. So, yeah, but I mean, you can see my thoughts then. Back to Attack on Titan really fast. I didn't know how to rate these because I've never read any other manga in my life. So I don't know how good they are in comparison. There were a couple of chapters that had beautiful panels and illustrations. And so I gave 29 and 30 3.5 out of 5 stars because it was like kind of slow. And most of what happened I had already known about. But volume 31, 32, and 33 I've given 4 stars because it was just like a step above, in my opinion. In my newly minted manga reader opinion. Who am I? I don't know. I got a job this month and I started reading manga. 2 things I never thought would happen. 2 things I was not expecting to happen. Anywho, I'm gonna go now. Thank you for watching. I don't know how long this video is. If you stuck around through that like Attack on Titan rant, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hope you liked it. Hope to see you again. here come the guns. Like, subscribe, maybe, possibly. Yeah, thank you. Peace out. I'll see you in a week. Hope you have a good week. Hope you have a great rest of your day / night. Peace out. Goodbye in the video.